Welcome to the Lancashire Lad podcast. Welcome to the Lancashire Lad podcast. I am thrilled this week to invite on the show a fantastic Lancashire rock band. It is the Massive Wagons. We've got Baz and Adam. How are we, lads?
Yeah, we're good. Mate. Yeah, cheers for having us.
Well, thank you for joining us this morning. Let's go right back to the start. 2009. How did it all come about?
Oh, blimey.
Flipping heck. Well, to be honest, I'd been in the Air Force for a few years before that, and and I'd actually gone to school with a couple of the lads, and I'd been away and come home, so I hadn't been like drinking in the pubs in Cardiff for a lot of years. So right. I started kind of going out again, getting back into the kind of scene rock bands, and met up with these guys, and actually Adam and a couple of the other lads have been just playing some covers in a garage, and were minus a singer. So.
Well, Baz and I had been playing in a band for a few years, from about 2007 and 8, was it?
Yeah, we were in a cover band.
Yeah, a cover band called Ace Face, doing the weddings and like that kind of circuit, purely covers, purely for a bit of dosh and and then we sort of had a bit more ambition to write music, and it kind of wasn't working in that band. We tried it, and then. Like Baz said, I've been playing with my brother, who's a drummer, my whole life, and then a couple of other lads, and then we needed a singer, as is always the case,
Nobody wants to sing,
and Baz turned up and was like, yeah, I'll do it, and then we just started writing, and it kind of clicked really.
So it just all fitted together.
Yeah.
So the name, the Massive Wagons. I've looked into the reason, but obviously I want my viewers to find out the reason. So tell us how the name came to fruition.
We needed a name.
It helps us.
That's where it starts. Well, it's actually a friendly term nickname for a barmaid, a good barmaid friend of ours.
Does she have a name?
Yeah, she's called Terry Edwards.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. She knows.
She knows. And she's all right with it.
Oh, she fully endorsed it. Yeah.
I bet it makes her feel quite good. To be fair.
I haven't seen her in years, but I know. I think. But you got to remember though that back then we were the kind of like limit of our ambition was to play the biggest pub in Cardiff. You know what I mean? So I really didn't think that 12 years on we'd still be going out. Yeah.
So what were your early influences musical wise then? So when you decided you wanted to start writing your own stuff, and was there anyone that influenced that or that you looked up to?
Oh well, certainly when we've always been into music and always been into rock and indie music. But when we started writing, I think our sole biggest influence would have been the kind of like the pub rock type, AC/DC, the Who, that kind of thing really.
Yeah, we started knocking around together and got in this. We started playing some covers and things, and then naturally just started drinking together and going to gigs. There was a big band around at the time. The late 2000s, there was a bit of a resurgence in the kind of rock scene. There was some kind of the Dinosaurs were there, obviously Def Leppard and Motley Crue and all their bands, and then there was these young bands coming up, bands like a band called Blackstone Cherry and Airborne and these kind of bands, and The Answer, and we used to go and watch these bands all the time. It just made us think, these young guys are doing it. Why can't we? We can do what they're doing. Yeah, no problem. I can do that.
So when you started doing the ACD songs, did you find it, because his voice is really bloody hard the key that he sung in and everything like that. Did you find was it hard for you, or did you find it natural, it was okay for you within your range?
The Bon Scott stuff was always okay, I found. But the Brian Johnson stuff, that's really...
It is.
I can sing that stuff, but it's really you're pushing yourself,
It's a full body thing, isn't it? It's not just your head or whatever.
It's everything. If you feel like your head's going to explode,
Yeah, well, someone put it on karaoke one night and said, "Hey, have a go at this, Stuart?" And I put the microphone down within about 20 seconds. I was like, "No."
You really can't worry about what you look like when you're singing that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? It's not.
I think that always kind of worked though, because I mean, we kind of when we started off as Massive Wagons, we were doing the covers as well, to earn a bit of cash, and we kind of went out and played them like we properly meant it, and we were probably at the time the only youngish band doing it. You know what I mean?
He's not referring to me.
So I think we kind of got a leg up on some of the bands that have been around locally on the scene for a bit, because we were kind of a younger group of guys doing it.
Yeah.
But Baz, because you gave it everything with that kind of song, I always thought that really set us apart.
No, I mean, I've got to be honest. A big name check here for some local lads. When we always watched the Bottlenecks. They were another big group of similar age guys. They were big on the local scene when we were in pubs and that. So
they're good friends of mine.
Great lads. Used to watch them in the Longlands.
I'm sure they'll appreciate that when they hear that. And
I tell them
a tip of the hat.
Definitely.
Tell them every time I see them, especially Martin, absolutely.
But it's where you come from. I've always thought round here, Morecambe, Carnforth and Lancaster had a great rock scene. Still some Tim Panally and the Barflies and Adi and all them people. They're all a big influence on young lads watching rock music.
That's great to hear that, and I'm sure people from the local area will agree with you when they listen to this. What was it like, obviously doing cover songs for a long time, going from that to actually doing your own stuff and seeing the audience love it as much as they did when you did the covers? Because that's a step that you can't force. You can't force people to buy into what you're doing.
No.
But what you've done, they're buying into, and all of a sudden you stood there performing to thousands of people that are digging your stuff. How does that feel?
Yeah, it's. I mean, what we would do is we used to play the covers, and we'd be cheeky and throw, because they just wanted. Essentially, the pubs just wanted people in there buying beer. We'd start throwing an odd track of our own in there, And,
so edged it in nicely.
Yeah, just edged it in. We didn't tell anyone, We'd play a few, and people were enjoying it. We'd put a few more in, and then you'd find we'd start playing shows. We'd be doing the cover circuit, and then we'd start doing the original circuit, which was like maybe have like 4 or 5 bands on a bill, and you'd do 20 minutes or whatever. You'd find that all the people that were going out on a Friday, Saturday night to the pub in Lancaster, the Bath, wherever, would then start turning up at your original shows. So we're this new band turning up on this scene, nobody knows who we are, and we're bringing loads of people because we've got this passionate following. They just want to come and see you, interact with people and talk to people, and they just seem to click with people.
And also having done like 2.5, 3 hour sets, every weekend for a couple of years, and then suddenly have to come and just do 20 minutes, it's just like absolutely just piss it, what I mean? Yeah. And then it just wasn't an issue, And then it was, but it is amazing, and I do have to check myself every now and again, like when it's like, God, really, all these people are here waiting to hear songs that that we wrote. Well, I wrote on the bog or whatever, what I mean? Yeah. People just. It's
Rock
crazy.
on the bog. Yeah.
Well, there one or two songs, definitely, but
the feeling never gets tired though.
No,
it's amazing.
I can imagine it is, your own material and the journey, because you've had to pay your dues to get where you're at. You started off at that level, and it's been a gradual progression as the years have gone by, and where you've got to now, and where can it stop? Hopefully it can go a lot further than where you're at now. It's a shame Top of the Pops isn't around anymore. So Baz, do you obviously as a front man, I've watched a few videos and stuff. I haven't had the pleasure of seeing you live yet, but obviously being a front man becomes quite a lot of pressure, I guess, because how the front man perceives himself or shows off himself sort of reflects the band in a way.
Yeah.
Was it natural to you, or did you have to work on it?
I certainly at first it was. Well, I played when we were in the other band, Aceface. I played bass guitar, so I didn't really do any singing. So, kind of being in front of people, I was kind of eased into it, really. Yeah. I remember when our first gig we played when I was singing. was terrifying, absolutely terrifying. I was just with a mic stand, like, that didn't move, you know. But people were enjoying it, and we sort of threw ourselves into it. And I did a few gigs, and slowly the microphone comes out of the stand, and I let go of it. And I've got all of the wire, and then you start walking about a bit. It sounds daft, but you know these are all.
Next thing he's wigging
But no, we built up our following slowly, and it just got a bit more and more confident, really. And before you know it, you're waving your hair around and jumping on people's in the crowd and whatnot.
Yeah,
just got to go for it. Just be confident.
Yeah, well, like I said, to me, watching the videos and stuff, it seemed very natural to you. And like I said, I think it's so important for a band as good as the musicians are, etc. I think the frontman's so important to the focal point of the following, you know. Obviously, you've got a very loyal following. Why do you think that is? I know it's a tough question, that, but why do you think you've got that such a loyal following that really do trek around to support you?
Probably because it has been a long journey. It has been a build-up to cliche it a little bit. You know, we've got deep foundations. You know what I mean? We didn't pop up overnight or anything. Yeah. We sort of paid our dues and I don't know. Yeah, the people that we've got this kind of core that, you know, there's new people coming on all the time, which is great. But then when they sort of come on and then they see that, you know, we've got quite a passionate, loyal fan base, as you say, it's like they want to be part of the gang, and then it grows and it's strong, and I don't know. We played the long game, and it's paying off for us.
I guess it's the same for the loyal fans. The journey's the same for them as it is you, really.
Yeah.
I bet they're in their frame of mind. Like, Christ, I was watching them in a pub a couple of years ago, and now I'm watching them here and there. So it's an organic journey for the fan base.
I've always said the story is so important for a band. I mean, I think in particular maybe rock and metal bands as well. Did you see the documentaries about, you know, the Thin Lizzy story or the Black Sabbath story, and all these guys come from places that we can all relate to, you know, the terraced houses and whatnot, and we've just got to identify with people. We make an effort to connect with people, and always involve fans in what we're doing and talk to people. And
I've seen some of your YouTube, your Facebook live videos and stuff, and it just looks like a madhouse where you're doing it, and there's lots of fun going on. And like I said, once you start watching it, it's very hard to switch it off. And that isn't forced. That's a natural talent to have, where you click onto something that's bright and colourful, and now you set it all up with the setting and everything. And check that out on Facebook, the Massive Wagons. Check the live shows out on there, because they really are interesting. Now, I've been wanting to ask you this question since I spoke with you the other day. Now, my dad passed away a few years ago, but his favourite band were lynyrd.
Oh, right.
Now, obviously, Ronnie Van Zant passed away many moons ago, but obviously they kept going and stuff. And I mean, the hairs on my hand standing up now talking about Lynyrd because it was my dad's favourite band. What were they like to work with, and what was it? Were they cool? Were they?
Cool. Cool is the absolute word that would describe those guys. Yeah, so cool. I mean, we kept on that tour. We kind of kept ourselves to ourselves, and we only really interacted with them when they interacted with us. You know, we sort of didn't want to go in there sort of
badging in the dressing room. Oh, what's up, lads? You know,
Mr. Skinner.
Yeah. But they were great. They were so cool.
How many's in the band now? Is it about
400?
There's a fair few of them. Because I think the core members, I think there's 7 of them. Yeah. And then they've got, like, are they called the Honkettes?
The Honkettes, yeah.
Honkettes.
Honk.
only Americans get away with that kind of stuff, you know. But and then there was like a trio, or I can't remember if there's 2 or 3 of them, of backing singers, you know. Yeah. But it's the race, and the crew as well, like, because you kind of, like, with bands at that level, you see more of the crew than you see of the bands themselves. But they were all good old Southern boys, and they were super accommodating and gracious. I
had a great moment. They had a big white grand piano on stage with a huge brass eagle on top of it, and I think we'd done our sound check or something, and the piano player, this huge fella, and he's got all these massive rings on and a big white suit and a big cowl, just like you'd imagine. And I'm stood there sort of watching Status Quo sound checks, and then I see him out the corner of my eye, and he comes walking over. I think, oh fucking hell, What's he want? I said, God damn, boy, you're that singer from that Massive Wagons band. I said, God damn, you got some voice on you, son. All this stuff, I'm going, shook me hand with this massive gorilla hand. Like, good boy. I'm like, yeah, all right, mate, yeah, thanks a lot.
I bet that was amazing.
Oh, it was weird. I freaked out, but yeah, it was just a moment, you know. But all their crew, it's all real. That's all real to them, you know. You just see it on telly and back footage from the 70s with the cowboy hats and all that stuff. Well, that's them. That's their life. It's amazing.
I mean, honestly, I'd just love to watch Lynyrd live, just to watch Freebird. And just see how it unfolds as a song and goes, you know. I bet that was pretty.
They're probably still playing it now.
Actually. They can extend it with the old guitar solos in that, can't they? So that's cool. And as you mentioned as well, Status Quo. So how did that come about, and what happened with Status Quo? Because you've done a few things with them now, haven't you?
Yeah, we
crossed paths quite a few times.
Well, they were the support band on the arena tour. So it was Skinhead, Quo, and us.
I know.
Pretty crazy, isn't it?
Pretty cool.
Well, yeah.
But we did play with them at the Kendall, up at Kendall, the new Kendall rugby stadium that they built, and they brought their own stage in, and we supported them there.
Was that when a well-known local photographer from Lancashire was up on top of a cherry picker?
Malcolm Jackson or something he's called?
Something
Matthew
like
Jackson, I can't remember.
Yeah, he was quite excited up on that cherry picker, I remember. I think he wanted to take it home. So yeah, you supported Status. What were the boys like? Was Rick still alive when you did?
No,
I never met Rick.
No, we never met him.
Well, to be honest, again, it's one of them where you spend more time with the crew than you spend more time with the band. Although on that tour they were a little bit more like the Skinhead lads would sort of came half an hour before their set. You know, they didn't sound check or anything.
That's it,
yeah, pretty much. Except for the NEC in Birmingham when they seemed to be there all day, or a few of them were anyway. Ricky Medlock, the guitar player, used to be in a band called Blackfoot.
Yeah.
And I absolutely we both do, don't we? I mean, they're just incredible southern rock band. And this guy is again just larger than life, big.
It's like a Red Indian, isn't it?
Crocodile skin boots and all this, and
that he killed himself and skinned.
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
Yeah, out of the canals in Birmingham or something. But he's like he was a cool guy. But then like the Quo crew were just so grounded. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this is a lesson we learned a while back. It's like if you can impress the crew, it filters to the band, and then the band, you know, themselves are a little bit more open to, you know, coming and having a word with you and all that.
You can guarantee that the guys in the band will say to their crew, well, what are them lads like? Are they all right?
Yeah, it's like
taking a piss.
Because I'd imagine, you know, throughout their careers and stuff, they'll work with a lot of support acts, and some of them they might be like, what are they like? Oh, they're not very good. So it's nice that you've had that experience where the crew have endorsed you, which has led to obviously the band being a bit more forward with you and stuff.
And we wrote the song about Rick Parfitt, Back to the Stack, and it was very cool. We'd finish our set with that every night, and every night the Quo's crew would come out and clap us and watch, because they were Rick's crew, you know, they were Rick's guitar techs.
Did Francis come out and do it?
You know, I don't know if he did. Me and Stephen we only met Francis once on the whole tour. We'd talked to the rest of the guys in the band a few times. Rhino, had beers with Rhino, but Francis, we only met him once.
He seems
a bit quiet. He didn't really.
I can usually figure people out, you know, famous singers and things like that. But I struggle to. I see little snippets of him that might be a bit like, oh, he seems a bit.
I think he's just got a really unique sense of humour. I really don't think it's a personal thing. The fact that he didn't, you know,
didn't want to talk to me.
Well, no,
That's surprising.
Well, I know. I can fully understand that. Like, but
what did you try?
No, I didn't know. No.
There was one moment I remember at Wembley where we were arsing around, and
I think we said something to him, and he just walked away.
Cut you down, didn't he?
Walked off.
When you like,
Franny.
Yeah. But to be honest, I'm not personally. I'm not interested in that. If people like my heroes, or, you know, people of influence or whatever, if they're around and it seems like appropriate to talk to them on a level, that's cool. I do that, but, you know, I never see it as like an opportunity to. Yeah. Oh, now's my chance. You know. Yeah, exactly. No.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool that you feel that way about it all. Talking about the song you just said then, obviously the Rick Parfitt one, I was listening to Changes the other day.
All right. You didn't watch the video, did you?
Yeah, I watched the video. So whose idea was it to get the old football kit out, and who put you in net? Or was it easier for you to sing?
What are you talking about? It's obvious, the obvious choice.
The cat.
The cat.
Whose idea was that video? What was it?
I think it was my idea, to be honest. I think I came up with the concept for it.
But it works.
It was just there were the songs about kind of a journey that we've been on over the years and whatnot, and it's about our fans and this crazy, amazing fan base we've got. And we just wanted to kind of take it all back to where we started. All young lads don't go out for a kick about playing football, don't you? Whether you like football or not, you've all played football together at some point in your life, knocked a football about. We just thought it'd be a light-hearted.
No, it's a great song. I really enjoyed listening to it, cool. And I like the tempo of it and everything, and the lyrics is outstanding as well. It's really good. Like I said, I've tried. Your style of music isn't something I would usually listen to, but obviously, with you coming on the show, I've listened to it, and I've now decided I want to come to a gig. So maybe at some point we can do this backstage at some point, and a bit further down the line of your journey. Because your journey, unfortunately, over the last year has been held up. There was a bit of, a storm when you first come to fruition on a big level. You know, there was a lot of words being spoken about you being, getting bigger and bigger. You organised or arranged the European tour that I'm sure you were going to be so excited to do, and then along comes COVID and poo-poos it. So what was that like, finally getting to that point of going on this big European tour and it being taken away?
We've been to Europe before, but this was going to be our first sort of headline tour, where we're going out, and in a way it's almost like starting at the bottom again, if you know what I mean, but in a kind of exciting way. But I don't know. I think because it happened across the board to everybody, it wasn't like we were just sort of, you can't do it, because that would have been truly gutting, but it's one of them, it's, the reasons are as good as they're ever going to be to cancel a tour. So
I think the biggest letdown for us was we'd made so much ground with momentum in Europe, and it was we'd timed it. It was just the right time to go, and I think it would have been good.
You were riding a crest of a wave, weren't you?
A bit like that, and we've just got to hope that over the next year, if we can eventually get back out there, that there's still sort of rolling,
So remind us of the countries you were going to. Do you remember him?
It would have been
Holland.
It's actually the Netherlands. Holland isn't a country. But we would have been doing. It is in Holland. I'm just being a dick. Holland, Germany, Sweden, Norway, Denmark.
Could have been, I think so.
And France. I think we did France.
Have you done the Netherlands or Holland before?
No, we didn't. We've done Belgium.
The reason I'm asking is I had John Waite on the show a couple of weeks ago, and he said it's basically one of his favourite places to gig. He said he has this unique following there, and because he's got a tour sorted for later this year just in Holland, nowhere else.
Right.
And he said it's the kind of special people over there.
Really.
So maybe.
I know that rock music over there is kind of proportionally more of a thing in
well, I mean, we've been playing this country solid for 9-10 years, and you've got to start building your sort of fan base in other places. You can't keep touring this country and over and over. People get sick and fed up with you.
Too much of the world to see. Well, is there any countries that you really want to go to down the line?
I think universally, South America is always kind of said for a rock band.
Pretty crazy up there, isn't it? I watched the Cranberries live there, and because I loved Dolores O'Riordan, I thought her voice was outstanding. And I watched it, and they were in Bolivia, and it was just unbelievable. Right. How the hell are they that big over there?
Crazy,
So it looks like, and then obviously the Coldplay gig that they did over there the other year as well. It looks like an absolute just amazing continent to go and gig on.
I think because they download illegally a lot of albums over there.
So they say.
It's all off the grid. So bands have no idea how popular they are because they haven't on paper sold that many. But then everyone knows who they are because their albums are circulating or whatever. So they'll go and then play these massive football stadiums and whatever.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy, and they know all the words. I was watching, I was like, how the hell do these people know? But I guess that's music, and that's the power of it. And so South America for you, any?
Let's go to Japan.
Cool.
A bit cool. And we play with a band called the Wild Hearts quite a few times, and they go to Japan quite a lot, and it's just an absolute crazy circus. It looks amazing, great fun, and they love British bands over there, don't they? British.
Yeah, I think you click there or you don't. It's one of them.
Yeah.
If they get
try
you.
my hand over there, it'd be great.
Yeah.
So South America and Asia.
Yeah.
Well, that's two good places to start off, isn't it? Yeah. So let's talk about the Download Festival.
Right.
Obviously, it's been postponed several times, but the prospect of performing in front of 80,000 people at Donington Park, how does that sound?
Yeah.
Take it or leave it.
No, it's. I mean, Download as a band when you start out, especially when you're writing your own music, Download is so pie in the sky. It's like we might achieve a few goals along the way, but Download really is. It's the cherry on the cake,
Yeah.
We played it in 2018 in one of the tents. There was 2,000 people in the tent, and it was just an out of this world
Sounds
experience.
crazy. That 2,000 people in a tent.
It was absolutely. We had a 20-minute set. It felt like about 20 seconds.
Didn't it?
Yeah, it was unbelievable. It's just hard to process that we're even doing it because it's such a pinnacle of rock and metal music playing Download from all the big bands in the world. To get to play.
Who's on that bill then this year if it goes ahead?
Well, it would be, I think, because we were originally booked in for last year, which obviously didn't happen, and they can't do it again this year, so the lineup's kind of rolled over to 2022.
Right.
And the headliners are
Iron Maiden.
Just Iron Maiden.
Kiss. Yeah.
Kiss and Biffy Clyro, I think.
Biffy Clyro, yeah.
Are you a fan of Biffy Clyro?
I like Biffy Clyro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
He has got a bit, it's. What was I going to say then? I was going to find that song that was changed into the X Factor winners song.
Was it
Many of Horror?
Yeah.
Many of Horror.
Is that what it's called? Yeah. Great song.
I mean, I take a bit of inspiration from them because their story, they've been on a long road as well, and I always, they put out a lot of albums before they really got anywhere,
Yeah.
And I always, at times when I thought, well, I want to knock this on the head because it's just too hard work, I thought, Biffy and a number of other bands gave it sort of 10 years seemed to be the time that it takes to sort of get noticed in this game. If in the last 10 years continuing to put out decent music, you've got a chance of going somewhere.
Well, it's looking good, isn't it?
Well,
it's looking good.
Well, like you said, that was the crushing thing about last year. It was like all this momentum that we'd been building because we had literally never stopped. It was album touring, and then this is by far the longest time we've ever been without ever playing in front of people, as it is for a lot of bands. I'm sure. But
are you nervous about getting back into it, or have you've kept yourself busy though in the rehearsals, haven't you?
Yeah.
So your tools are sharp in that sense. So let's talk about a couple of albums, or name a couple of albums. Obviously, in 2018, an album came out called Full Nelson, and in Lancaster. I think you know where I'm going with this. On the side of a pub wall came the album cover as a mosaic, and the initial reaction was, this is cool, and then the council got involved and it created a bit of a shitstorm.
It did, yeah.
So question number one, how did it feel having that put up in your honour? And number two, what was it like being involved in all that chaos?
It was awesome. I mean, the pub that it's on the side of is called The Pub.
Yeah.
And that's a place we always aspired to play when we were starting out. That was like the centre of the rock universe in Lancaster, really, that place.
Yeah.
We used to go there every Friday, Saturday. We loved to just want to play there. So we played there a few times, and it became like our kind of home, Yeah. And our record label, years down the line, wanted to ask us, said, we want to do this, we want to put a thing up in Lancaster, and we think it'd be cool. Do you know anywhere where we could get it done? And we talked to Deb and Kev, who owned the pub at the time, and they owned the building. They owned the building. They lived there. That was their building, and it was on a gable end, right on the one-way system, and it was absolutely perfect. So they put this thing up, and we were like, "Wow, this is."
It was totally bigger than I was expecting.
You've expected
crazy.
like 2 metres by 2 metres or something.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Mate, I was at the hospital when it was getting done because my son had just been born, and I walked down with him in the pram, and they were just sort of drawing the outline of it, and I was like, it can't be that bloody big.
Can't do that.
Look, son.
Yeah, I know. Unreal.
But then it was quickly followed by I'll let you explain what happened rather than me speculate about what happened. It was met with controversy from the local council. So what happened? How did you get notified of what was going on? And then obviously the backing from the public was just momentous. So what happened?
Well, I can't actually remember how we found out that it had been that had an issue with it. As far as I was aware, the pub, Deb and Kev, had just received a letter, and all the letter said was the advertisement on the side of your pub, you need to get rid of it by the end of the month, or we will take this to court. As far as I'm aware, that's
nice.
That's it.
There was no questions. No.
There's no what is it, why is it there? It looks great. We need to have a chat about it. Well, that's all reasonable. It needs to go, or it's going to court. Yeah. Well, you poke people with a stick. And you get a reaction, don't you?
Yeah.
And then one of the beauties of social media was that the news got out about that in there's the Lancaster group, like a popular group about Lancaster, and whether people knew who we were or whether they liked it or not, a lot of people didn't like the fact that they were being told they couldn't have this thing to look at, and a lot of people liked it, and if people get an opportunity to wave their fist at the council, that's another. People like doing that as well.
Yeah. So there was an uprising.
There was
an uprising of the pitchforks came out.
They did.
Absolutely. People marched on Lancaster.
Absolutely, they did.
So how many? Was there a form you could sign?
It was like a petition.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the correct word. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Petition. Yeah. So how many people signed that?
There was
thousands.
20,000, I think. In the end. and I don't know.
It was funny because our record label Earache, some people, like big artists and stuff. We had like was one of the guys from Public Enemy signed it.
Oh yeah.
Commented on it, something like that. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
It's just like what?
No, fantastic. And just to let the viewers know, the Mosaic is still there.
Still there.
So when you're driving around the one-way system in Lancaster, in Lancashire, have a look on your right-hand side because you'll see it. Trust me, as the lad said, you can't really miss it. So brilliant. So what I want to ask you next is who I always liked when I ever meet anyone who is very good at what they do, or in sport, music, or anything in life. I always like to know who the best is in their opinion. So obviously, Baz, with you being a lead singer, who is the best rock singer of all time?
Okay, that's a hell of a question. I mean, I suppose in terms of what I do, I'd have to look at a singer and a frontman because I see it as a full package, and in my opinion, I think the best singer frontman is probably Roger Daltrey.
Right.
I think so. I think he was an incredible frontman. I have favourite singers. Bon Scott's a great singer. Brian Johnson, both from AC/DC. We play with a band at the moment called Those Damn Crows. A guy called Shane. He's an incredible vocalist. But if you're talking frontmen and vocalists in one package, I think Roger Daltrey was the man. They had the hair, the muscles, confidence.
Yeah. He was shredded, wasn't he?
He's like Benjamin Button, isn't he? He gets younger as he gets older, and he's just amazing vocalist. And he has a natural character in his voice I just love. I think he's amazing, yeah. Obviously you got Freddie Mercury's also.
I was wondering if he was going to make an appearance.
Yeah, well, he's everybody's. He kind of goes without saying, really, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
Did you enjoy the film?
Yes, that was amazing. Do you know what? I couldn't believe the Brian May and John Deacon characters, how much they were like them.
Yeah. Brian May was incredible.
Casting was just incredible.
Yeah, it was. It was a very enjoyable film. Adam, guitar. Who's the best?
Oh, again, well, yeah. There's a few answers in there, but I guess there's a guy in a band called Rush. I really like Rush. They're sort of prog rock. The guitarist is called Alex Lifeson.
Right.
And he's not the most glamorous, but he does. He's so intricate and he's so unique and consistent. You know what I mean? For their 40-year career, it was interesting from start to finish. They don't play anymore, but But then there's other guitarists like Eddie Van Halen and Michael Schenker who had flashes of absolute brilliance, but it's very patchy, if you know what I mean. They didn't really do much for sort of big periods of time. So yeah, Alex Lifeson for me. You know.
See, this is what's great about this. I say this quite a few times in my shows when we do this, is that people will now YouTube these people, and,
hopefully,
you know, and look, because you know, probably a name they wouldn't have expected. Just a quick on the spot question: what your opinion on Prince as a musician?
Prince,
oh, incredible.
Oh. Yeah, well,
Deadly,
brilliant.
Yeah, amazing guitar player. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Songwriter.
he was 360, wasn't he? Because he was a songwriter, producer, guitarist, singer. He lived music, and yeah, absolutely. And I was kind of I was one of those who was sort of guilty of not realising that until he passed. And then, because you couldn't turn the radio on without hearing Prince songs for about a month, and I just heard more and more, and I was like, this guy was bloody brilliant.
Yeah,
you know?
it's the reason I asked is because when you've seen pop stars pass away over the years, like Whitney, you know, even Michael Jackson, etc., there was a certain category of people that mourned their deaths. But the Prince death, it's the first time I saw proper musicians actually pay a tribute on their own Facebooks and social media, and it was like a different area of people that mourn Prince more than the mainstream, if you get what I mean. So that's why I wanted to ask you that question. Okay, on your social media or in your own Massive Wagons world, there is something called the Wagon World.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Well, it's kind of it was kind of born out of the need to be creative during the lockdown. Really, we had talked about it before, but because we had nothing to do when the lockdown happened, we created this like an online fan club, like back in the day. Any of the fans of the old rock bands and metal bands, Iron Maiden and whatnot, they all had fan clubs and were aware they could keep in touch with their fans. And we produce exclusive content for them, and they get exclusive merch, and Adam does guitar lessons, and
that's excellent.
We do all sorts of stuff with them.
We work really hard for it, you know. It's kind of more than your sort of average fan club, really. Or we like to think so, anyway. But you know,
you've got the personal touch in there.
Exactly. It's a massive part of what Baz and I do now.
It's basically our full-time job, to be honest with you. So we devote all our time to it. Yeah.
And
go on, sorry.
No, I was just going to basically elaborate on that. It's our full-time occupation now, pretty much, you know.
So if someone was interested in getting involved in the Wagon World and guitar lessons, how did they go about that?
It's hosted through a platform called Patreon, which has been around a while, but it's obviously we're not the only ones in there, you know, sort of narrowing ourselves down this route. There's a lot of bands doing it now, but we kind of always try to keep it sort of special and very personal. But you basically it's all over our website. You could go to patreon.com itself /Wagons World, see what you can get. There's different tiers that you can, you know, sign up for and commit to. Or if it's not for you, we'll take anyone's support however it comes. You know, it's kind of like extra on top of what we always do and what we always did. It's not like, right, we're shifting our content and, you know, fan base attention from this to this. We're still doing what we've always done. It's just like, if you want to get a bit more into the wagons,
you can delve deeper into the Massive Wagons.
So that's what it's there for.
No, that's spectacular. You know, imagine if some of the big bands did it, where people could go for a lesson with like Liam Gallagher and stuff like that. Oasis mode. So obviously the last year has been very frustrating. I'd imagine there's a lot of pent up aggression and desire to get on the stage again and do all these great things like download. So what is the future for the Massive Wagons? What's the goal? What's the Elysium, if you get what I mean?
Progress. That's it. Progress on that upwards trajectory.
Album,
writing a new album.
Oh yes, you are. Yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah. Well, again, something else we've been able to take advantage of because of the lockdown, because we've not had a lot else to do. Is writing songs. We've been hard writing more songs.
Are they all co-written?
Yeah. Well, they all start with me and Adam. Most of them, and Stephen now, the other guitar player, who's been with us about 3 or 4 years now. He contributes quite a lot. We take them to the rest of the guys, and then we all work on them
What's
together.
the process with writing a song? Where do you start with when you? I mean, is it planned? Right, we'll meet on Saturday. Let's sit down with a paper and a pen.
No.
It's not like that, is it?
No, it's never been. I mean, I think we might have even tried that. Right, let's get together and have a
classroom setting.
Never bloody works, you know. But I mean, musical ideas come to me and to Steve. Just whenever inspiration strikes, and then you remember it, and over the years you kind of learn what's going to work and what isn't going to work.
Yeah.
So now basically we'll put some sort of a musical idea together, give it to Baz, and he takes it and puts his spin on it. But I kind of think that's why we aren't as contrived as some rock music can be, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because it's two very different approaches to the same thing, and it's not all come from one mind, if you know what I mean. It's very much a collective.
It's a great feeling. It's a great feeling when Adam or Stephen will give me some guitar music. They'll have an idea. They'll give it me, and I'll take it away, and I'll write some words and a vocal melody, and come back to them. And they'll just go, "That's totally not how I expected that to go." And I'll go, "Great, that's a great feeling. I think that's brilliant."
Yeah, no, it's very organic, isn't it? How it comes about and stuff. That's cool.
Yeah.
So this new album, is there a name for it, or are you keeping it?
Oh, I don't think we have a name yet.
You don't have a name?
All the songs have even...
Maybe run a competition for your fans.
Oh God, end up with all sorts there, but...
We'll try and get a mural in Morecambe next, or Moscaic or something. Yeah. In fact, we're at the Exchange today in Morecambe. So, Rob, if you're watching this, this gable end you've got here...
Get your crayons out.
Yeah. We can sell it a brick a person. So that's fantastic. Well, I wish you all the best, and we're going to move swiftly on to my very archival questions.
The coup de grace.
Yes. So as always, with any of my guests, I always like to finish off with my 10-question shootout, designed by Bernard Pivot. So, Massive Wagons, they've been looking forward to this. So, basically quick fire answers, and we're just going to find a bit more about you, out about you in a very short period of time. So we'll start with Baz first. What is your favourite word?
Favourite word? Bedtime.
Oh, cool.
Oh, stout.
Stout.
Ooh, good one.
What is your least favourite word?
Oh, crikey. Least favourite word? 5 o'clock in the morning. 5 a.m. Is that a word?
Barry Mills.
Oh, rude.
What turns you on?
What turns me on? Crikey. Craft beer.
Oh God.
You were going to say that, were you?
Well, no.
Stout beer.
Going out. I like going out.
What turns you off?
Oh, what turns me off? Washing up.
Barry Mills.
What sound do you love?
What sound do I love? Fuck it. What sound do I love? I love the sound of my door laughing. That's the best sound in the world.
Cool.
Oh.
I know.
I don't like. I don't like the sound of birds. They wake me
What,
up
women or
morning.
just
no,
birds?
Tweety birds. I don't know the sound of the shower. I don't know.
Do you know this is random but perfect? What sound do you hate?
What sound do I hate?
Just go with your daughter crying.
Oh yeah, that is an awful sound. Yeah. Sound do I hate? Do you know what I really hate? The sound of people banging on your front door.
Right.
I hate that noise.
Do you have a lot of people doing that?
I don't, thank God, no.
Can I say Barry Mills again?
If you want.
My dog whining. You know that pathetic whiny noise. I don't mind barking, but that noise does my head in.
What is your I think you'll have no problem with this next question. What is your favourite curse word?
My favourite curse word? It's got to be the F word, isn't it?
Just plain old fashioned fuck.
Just a plain old fashioned fuck.
I think I probably say, it's probably not my favourite, but I say for fuck's sake more than anything else in the world.
Yeah, that's appeared several times in these podcasts.
You do say that a lot.
The good old fashioned for fuck.
It's been picked up on. Although I like the Billy Connolly one. What did he say? It was Jesus suffering fuck. That's a good one, isn't it? That's just the best.
Yeah, that's awesome. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Flipping heck. I always wanted to race motorbikes when I was a kid. I would love to have done that.
We'll have to do a podcast with you and John McGuinness together.
Well, that'd be good.
Motorbike racer.
A motorbike racer.
TT or MotoGP?
Motorbike racer or being a rock band. They were the two things as a kid I wanted to do.
Well, you've ticked one off.
Well, yeah. So I'm not too bothered really. Yeah. Either. Well, a TT, I do love road racing.
Well, you know what, John McGuinness might watch this. So John, I know you invite several celebrity friends up to your establishment to let them have a go on the bikes.
Yeah, if you want some entertainment, John,
What about you?
I mean, I've always liked the idea of being a cooper in a working with barrels. I don't know how that sounds, but just basically working in distilleries. I don't know why I love that environment.
Well, that's something you could do. Maybe.
Maybe I don't know.
As the popularity grows,
maybe. I mean,
Massive Wagons beer.
IPA.
Or
Watch this space. Yeah.
What profession would you not like to do?
There you go. That's a good cuss word. Would I not like to do? I got to admire people that work down sewers. Imagine doing that. My uncle used to do that. Fucking hell.
I just love that. I admire people.
You've got to admire
it.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't want to
do that. So fair enough. Yeah.
I wouldn't want to do that.
Sounds like a shit job.
It is a shite job, right?
And yourself?
And anything that involves driving, to be honest, I don't know. I couldn't do that. I hate driving.
Yeah.
Like a bus driver or a taxi driver or something, that would do my head in.
Okay, and we'll finish up with if heaven exists and you arrive at the pearly gates, what would you like to hear God say?
Get me down there! Get out of here!
And
God,
yourself,
I don't bloody know. Here's the jukebox. I don't know. There's the bar. There's a jukebox.
What are you doing up here?
Yeah, what are you doing up here? Yeah.
You're at the wrong end.
Yeah. Oh, we've got our sewer cleaner. Sewer cleaner's arrived.
Listen, lads, thank you for taking the time out to come and speak to me. I really appreciate it. I know it's been a difficult year, and I'm sure I'll be speak on behalf of plenty of people in Lancashire and around the country when we say we wish you all the best with your return to the stage. Onwards and upwards. And this has been the Lancashire lad with the Massive Wagons from Carnforth. Proper Lancashire rock band, and we wish them all the best in the future. If you've enjoyed the show, please, by all means, share, get it out there on social media, and the most important thing is subscribe to the Lancashire Lad podcast. Massive Wagons, thank you very much.
Nice one. Thank you, mate.
And all the best.
Cheers, man.
Likewise.